I've been a fan of Rooster Teeth for a long time. Ever since I first saw Red vs. Blue, I was immediately hooked on the company. And seeing how they got their start by being just a few guys that really loved Halo to the point they made a web series about it was something I honestly resonated with. All their personalities gelled, the humor was extremely funny, and the company seemed to be what it was made for the fans, like they were. Like Blizzard before them, it was a place where the fans were appreciated and respected. Over the years, new people would come in and Rooster Teeth would become an internet powerhouse and a great success story that shows us all that you can do anything you want to if you put your mind to it. It was the American dream at work. With the amount of content and talent on display, I hope that Rooster Teeth would become so much bigger to the point that they rivaled big movie studios in success. But in 2014, since then, something's happened to the company that had proved to be its downfall. They started becoming more political and corporate. On the auspices of Twitter, employees started sharing their politics and putting it out in the world. Normally that isn't a bad thing, but when you post shit to demean over 50% of the country, that doesn't do much to inspire confidence from your fan base. At first though, it was just that. Tweets. Passing statements and stupid shit from those not high up in the organization. Around that time, Ruby was starting up and I was extremely hyped for it. There was also a rare opportunity behind it. A chance to show that America could still make good anime. At least that's how I saw it. But then Monty Oum, the show's creator, died tragically. Rooster Teeth was in disarray, and understandably so, and I had hoped that Ruby would continue with his vision and creativity in hand. But that's not what happened. His wife was pushed out of the company, and a certain employee made allegations about the incompetence of those at the top. And I, and many others, started to see that Rooster Teeth was not as fan-oriented as they used to be. They were also pushing Monty on to the point that he wanted to go to RT in California just so he could work on his stuff unabated. Then the same people that pushed him got the keys to this work and they never looked back. And when the 2016 election was heating up, you could bet that everyone had something to say about it. RT was no exception. Their bigger employees would then start saying shit online, degrading anyone with a different opinion than them over who should be in the White House and resulting to what all the SJWs do when they are called out for their bullshit. Calling people racist, sexist, homophobic, you get the damn picture. Over the last few years, Meg Turney, Jen Brown, Miles Una, Ann and Matt Holm, Shannon McCormick, Ashley Jones, Gus, Blaine, and many others would make their politics known to the world, and would do what they could to make people who disagree with them look stupid and horrible, even if they were the LGBT or minority that they so claim to represent. I know, I'm one of them. From going after high school kids from an out-of-context video, calling conservatives everything under the sun, endlessly sucking the dicks and pussies of the most corrupt politicians in history in the country, just because they have a D by their name, their hypocrisy knows no bounds. This even went into critiques about the shows that they were working on. Ruby is now such a cancer that the most important thing to the showrunners and the fan base is whether or not characters are gay and are fucking each other. And it's not like they're working hard towards that. They just poof it into existence. Instead of trying to tell good stories like they did with RVB, they decided to pander to the LGBT community and give them shit characters that just happen to be gay just so they can get brownie points. Guess what, RT? I could play a game for 40 hours with much better written LGBT characters. If you can't write a character with nuances other than "I am gay, please clap," you are actively hurting the LGBT community, not helping them. Calling people who don't like what you have done sexist and homophobic isn't an argument. Also, I'm bisexual. Fuck off. And then there's the whole stuff with Vic Mignogna. You capitulated to the Me Too movement by getting a guy fired because of a fucking joke. You not only helped slander this man, but you sided with people who have actually committed sexual harassment because, you guessed it, wrongthink can't be tolerated here. A straight white Christian male has no place here. But a guy who literally did the casting couch? Nah, he's fine. Also funny how you immediately fired him, but when Bernie was accused a few years back, you didn't do anything to that. But here's the thing. Doing that may have cost you everything. People finally gotten to see how you operate. To quote Urinating Tree, you have reached a dangerous level with fan interest. Apathy. They know nothing is going to change with these inept fucks at the top and have responded with their time and wallets. You started bleeding subs after this, and whole channels, including mine, got tons of views off of your incompetence. Not only that, more and more was discussed in regard to how you run things as a company. In fact, you run things so poorly you gave Naughty Dog a run in the Worst Employer of the Year award. No wonder Monty wanted to leave RT Texas. Now the entire animation department had to suffer under the tyranny of Grey Haddock. At least you fired him, but firing someone after a controversy reaches its height isn't something to be praised. That's called cowardice. That shit shouldn't have been tolerated at all. But I know, deflect by calling Republicans job killers and that you support workers' rights. That'll distract people. Now, this video is not directed at those who work behind the scenes that aren't managers. I appreciate the work that you do, and seeing how you have been treated has been horrific. I am directing this video to those who not only made this company what it is, but those who represent it now. I respect your company for what it did for Halo and Machinima. Without you, I wouldn't gotten so much of my inspiration to be a content creator. You wouldn't have given rise to so many other content creators like the Word of Wolf. People like them would have never existed. I wouldn't have gotten back in anime. I wouldn't have the drive I needed to write my own stories. But I can't stand with you any longer. Your company's a fucking shit show. Not only are you a joke now, but your productions have gotten progressively worse. The accountability has dropped to nearly zero. You push normal people away with your incompetence every fucking day. The actions you have taken over the last few years will prove to be your death knell. AT&T isn't going to deal with any of your bullshit over the next few years. Your company might be nothing more than a few shows on HBO at this point. You need to do a massive course correction for your company or you will be gone. But that's not going to happen. I don't ever see that happening. The damage has already been done anyway. It'll be sad to see this company go away, but with how you've been handling yourselves for the past few years, it will be completely fucking deserved. Go fuck off, you disgusting halfwits, and don't come back until you've learned a thing or two about respecting your customers and your craft.